Podcast. Oh, it's your scale of 1 to 10. How you been? I knew you were gonna go there. Oh gosh, I know. Don't worry. I will crack open the treats later. We're all good. We've all earned them. We've all earned them. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we are. Because I feel like now every time we do an episode covering expansion, I've got to basically channel my Adam Fleming. We are recording this at about 20 to 3 in the afternoon on May the 4th, 2026. Happy Star Wars Day, God. Oh, thank you. Yeah, because I'm more of a Star Wars guy than Marvel guy. Yeah, so maybe I should watch my favourite Star Wars film later on. Make one that. Page the Sith. That's my favourite of all 9. You know that George prefers the prequel trilogy. Let's not go there. Oh, now we've lost viewers. Now we've lost viewers. He's done it. Yeah. I was those rare people that do exist who like the prequel trilogy. Fun fact, we'll do the fun fact to try fact. Fun fact, in the run-up to episode 7 getting released, I hadn't watched any of the previous 6, so I basically had to spend the entire summer watching all 6 films. And I, the man I am, I insisted we had to start the prequel trilogy first because they were labelled episodes 1, 2, 3. I know, right? But the order is 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. I know, but if something is labelled episode 1, I'm sorry, we're starting at episode 1. We're doing it that way? Sorry, no, no, the DVD. No, look, the DVD says episode 1, so we're doing episode 1 first, and we'll come back to episode 4 once we've done episode 1s, 2, and 3. So I just prefer the prequel. I do. And episode 3 is kind of my favourite. It is my favourite of all 3. So maybe we'll watch that later on tonight. We'll see. Yeah. Right, so we're here today to talk about expansion news, and we're going to basically give you our thoughts on the expansion process layout. I have literally just finished recording the episode where I explain it in detail to you guys, and these, of course, you did not come on that because I needed basically... Well, essentially, you needed to be on your own to explain it, because obviously people would have got in the way. Well, I don't think people have got in the way, it's just... YouTube would have then wanted to then inject it in, give your side of it, give your thoughts, and I kind of thought, that's a separate thing. So I kind of need to get the explanation bit done first, then we come in. That's what we did that. So this episode is basically giving our thoughts on the process as a whole. Now I'm going to let you two go first, and then I will then come in afterwards, okay? So, just plainly honestly, tell me, yes or no, do you quite like this process that's now been lined out? Yes or just straightforward yes or no? I think it's a good process in terms of for the players, because last year it was just a no-go. Everyone hated it. Yeah. GMs hated it. Coaches hated it. Players hated it. Oh, don't get me started on the fans. Oh, yeah. I still can't believe, George, we had to do an episode last year when we basically carved one down. Yeah, well, that's how bad it is. I know. Well, the original intent for that episode, it was, the original intent was we were going to give you our thoughts on how the expansion process went down. But because everyone was so upset, we basically couldn't do that. We basically just go, right, everyone just calm down, please. To much noise! No need for that commotion. Because everyone was basically jumping the gun. Everyone was jumping the gun. They all panicked that Banker and Seattle were going to be number 1 and 2 in the PWHL come the end of 25-26. And what's happened? Look what's happened. Reality, we are now 1 year later. Okay? Yeah, it was bad. But essentially, the process last year was universally hated. Universally hated. This process now live, I think, is a lot better for the players. It gives them so much more control. In some phases, it doesn't sound like it, because if you've read the document, in some phases, it doesn't sound like they've got control, like in phase 2. Yeah, because in phase 2, it's pretty much expansion teams. It's basically phase 2 is basically a pick and mix for the expansion teams, where they basically get to decide who they want to offer contracts to. Yeah. And depending on what the contract is, a player has no choice in that signing. They have to sign it. Like the EFO. If you get an EFO, you have to take that. But you get an FPO, you don't have to take it immediately. You can then in phase 3, but you don't do it straight away. No, but I think the players have really been put to the forefront here, which is good. It's absolutely good. It's going to be interesting how it plays out. I kind of think it feels good because there's so many FAEs up this. Yeah, because for a lot of players who signed those foundational contracts in year 1, they all expire at the end of this year. So there is a lot more FAs, whether they be a UFA or an RFA. What's the difference between the two? I'll look it up. So, but there's going to be a lot more this time round up for grabs if you did it by a typical expansion draft compared to, but we'll see. I'll just look at a quick piece there. So, I'll give you a definition of both, and that'll be easier. So, I'll do a UFA first, shall I? Yeah. Okay, I'll do UFA first, then I'll do RFA. In the episode I just did, I just basically put them as FAs. Just because I thought it would make it easier for me just to do it like that. I mean, the viewers know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. They know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they know what I'm talking about. Just right. So okay. So I'm gonna be those definitions of that now. So an unrestricted free agent is a professional athlete whose contract has expired or been terminated, allow them to sign with any team without restrictions, compensation or right of first refusal for their former club. UFAs have maximum bargaining power, typically defined by specific service time, such as 4+ occurred seasons, and then a restricted free agent Okay, then a restricted free agent is a professional athlete whose contract has expired, but whose rights are still held by their original team. So allowing that team to match any offer sheet from a new team to retain them. RFAs can negotiate with other teams, but are subject to right of first refusal and potential draft pick compensation for the original team. Okay? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's going to be loads of those on the card, on the table this time. Yeah, because a lot of those players who signed those foundational contracts in year 1, they're gone, they're expired. I just feel like there's so much more power, and the players really have been put to the forefront of the My Her. Everyone's been crediting Laura Stacey. Oh yeah, because obviously she's currently the president of the PWHL. Everyone's been giving her lots of praise. And given how this came out the day after our game in Montreal, you wonder, are they praising her for her hat trick, or are they praising her because she's managed to make sure that there's better rules for expansion? You decide! Oh, sorry, couldn't resist. I know we're still quite a way away from Big Brother season, but I couldn't resist. Could not resist doing that. Couldn't resist. Okay. Oh god. Right. Yeah. So I do think this process, it sounds a lot better than last year. Just more for the players' benefits. But we're not going to be for the fans' benefits. God knows, because everyone's still going to be whinging and moaning. We've got to do 2 protections. I was wondering you were going to come into that. Hold on a sec. I knew. I mentioned on the last episode, I knew that you two were going to bring this up and you were going to kill me for this. I knew this was coming. I just knew it. I knew this was going to come. Go on, Pluto. What do you want to say about that? Go on. We've got to do 2 protection lists. 2? Yeah. Oh, I can't. Yeah, I knew. What? So we're going to have to do 2 lock-ins? Oh, Jesus Christ, George, no. No! 2 lock-ins? I'm gonna have to insist on a litter tray. Those are only for cats! Well, I'm gonna have to insist on something, George. No way are you holding me here hostage without the need to go to the loo. And I'm gonna insist on biscuits. I'm gonna insist on custard creams. If we're being locked in again, we're going to be locked in twice. He's gone. Leaving. It's 30 today. I don't know why. It's the 4 of us do 2 lists. He's gone. If we're gonna have to be locked in, I'm going to have to insist on custard creams. Cupcakes! Exactly, cupcakes! Hold on! This is not a children's birthday party! Okay, this is not... Sorry, hold on. This is not a children's birthday party for the naughties. Alright? Don't you dare! That's not funny! Not anymore. That's not funny. Just leave him there. Leave him there, boys and girls. Leave him there. He actually looks booched right now, doesn't he? I don't want to do it again. I want to do it. You didn't want to do it last year. You didn't want to do it last year. Seriously. 2! Oh my god. No, but the thing is though, right, okay, and come on, come back up, because I need to take it seriously. No, I'm going to insist on lying down. Right, fine. That's fine, because there we can at least see you. You are still engaged. That's fine, you can stay like that. But look, beach is not good. Right. Is he even still on the camp? He is. Right. The first protection list is basically, we'll have the right to go with everybody that we want to go with, okay? So, the first set of protection list is basically, like we did last year, we basically will just be able to name anybody that we would want to see get protected if we were in charge, okay? When we get to the second set of protection list, which isn't until phase 3, phase 3, by the time we get to phase 3, we don't know what state the current existing ATs will be in. And who knows, some people who are on our protection list might have been taken, so we have to then scramble and find new names, or, you know, some that haven't protected we might want to then put on. So who knows what state we will be in when we get to that second set of protection list, and you could look at that as potentially a second chance to improve. But we did top marks last year. I know. We did top marks. I'm still surprised by how many we got right last year. Well, Montreal made it easy for us. Let's face it. Can we just look at the victoires now? Yeah. Can we just do that now? Yeah. Yeah, because you would be idiots to split up the power couple that is Stacey and Pauline. Yeah. And Desbian. No. Oh, now you see my two. You two. No, I'm sorry. No. Oh, no. This time last year, you two were so happy to take the risk and put on the trade block. You two are so quick to take that risk. Yeah, because God, you do it, Plug. Because our defense at the time was they still had Elaine Julie because Tia didn't get an opportunity to trade for her at that point. Yeah, so we kind of felt, because obviously both Chile and Desmond was a rock solid duo for Montreal. So we both thought, well, you could run the risk. Montreal was one of the many teams last year that could easily run the risk of putting one netminder in danger. Because whoever stays, you know it's rock solid. Like when we saw Ottawa, because obviously Ottawa had to do that. We knew for the entire last season that Ottawa was going to have to lose a netminder. It's just everyone thought it was going to be Phoenix, not Mashmire. Yeah. But it didn't matter with Ottawa, because they still had a rock solid netminder still in play. Yeah. So that was our feeling. But of course, you were very adamant, lady. You actually thought... Amelie Despian owes you a massive thank you, lady, because if it wasn't for that intervention, she would not have been on our list. What would you two have done if I hadn't intervened? I would have then made the case for Ambrose. Yeah, because you felt last year that both Bars and Ambrose was in danger. Yeah. Well, I thought both were gonna go. You did. You thought both were gonna go, and then when Montreal's second, sorry, when Montreal's second, when Montreal's second player was taken, and the extra slot got activated, they straight away with Ambrose. So they saw what happened. They saw you coming from a mile away. Was Barnes gone by that point? I think she was. Was she? Yeah, I think she was. She was an ESW. She was not expansion draft signee. She was an ESW. Okay. Yeah, but that's why we took the last year. So. Yeah, Montreal's pretty much easy for everyone. You just rule out last year's list and be done with it. But it would then be interesting for a team like Montreal, who currently hasn't got any choice in the first phase. Yeah. It would be interesting what they do in the third phase. Well, with Montreal this time it would be interesting because obviously if Abby Rock can survive. Alright, no, yeah, no, I think Rock will go. I think if they can't protect Abby Rock, she's going. She's fair game. And it could be same for Ambrose as well. You really are not making it easy for us to go to Montreal, are you? But are you, dear? No, he's not. Well, again, it's like a lot of players that Montreal would want to keep, they can't keep because they've proven why they could shine a different team. Like, look at Abby Marine last year. Yeah, she did so well for Montreal the record season last year. That's a player you think would have never loved to have kept, but couldn't keep because she got taken by the expansion draft. Yeah, but oh my god. No, he's gone. Oh no, there you go. That was going to happen at some point. These boots and I fell off. We need now it's George Brio, Tonioli, then we got the hat trick. I'm saying that for the expansion process. You got close to you last year. Oh, I think we all did. I think we all got close to his last year's expansion trying to do a Bruno Tonioli. Yeah. Anyway, it'll be interesting when we get to phase 3. We have to know that second set of lists. Yeah. Well, basically, when we did the potential list episode last year, I basically treated it as a lock-in. So basically, none of us 3 were allowed to leave the room until we all unanimously agreed on each list. We weren't allowed no food, no water, we couldn't even go to the loo. We couldn't even bang on the windows the ice cream man to let us out from Mr. Whippy. It was torture! Torture! Yeah, but now, oh my god. We're gonna do that twice now. Twice! No. No, kill me now. Kill me now. I'd rather go and watch Devil Wears Prada. Now she's up for it. You said to me the other day, go on your own. You've been saying to me, why do you want me to tag along? Go on your own. Now she's changed it to hey, people would be better having to do 2 lock-ins. I'm not gonna, I can't. I'm just not. No. Well, I've got a feeling I'm gonna have to get some strong reinforcements to make sure these two stay put. Oh God, no! I know what you're thinking. Yes, and I can't interact with him right now because we're not on speaking terms for this second round. So, oh, you wouldn't dare! I would. Anyway, right, let's hear from you, Plum. We've heard from the lady, we've not heard from you about your thoughts. Right, so I'm going to stay this. I'm afraid. Okay, that's fine. I mean, because it's just so fresh, it's just, like, hard to press. I just, at this stage, I'm not too sure how I feel. I mean, it's such a hero, isn't it? Yeah. I do like how, we'll talk through the bits you do quite like. We don't worry about this stuff, right? So I do quite like how, you know, the existing teams feel like they could have a say in how the process works. So obviously last year they had no say. Once they made their protection list, that was it. She's gone again! Oh, she's got, because he's gone for disposition, that's why. I'm going over her. If he's going to assist Bill, I'm going over her. I'm going, because he has got assumed a different position to normal, so that means I don't be affected. I'm staying at you. I probably would. Okay. So yeah, so for me, the fact that existing teams get more power is good. It's good because obviously last year they had no say. Once they made a protection list, that was it. It's kind of like how if you win HOH, once the POB studies happened, that's it. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. So obviously, I always feel like if I ever did Big Brother, I always feel I would want to go for POB rather than HOH because if you're HOH after the veto ceremony, you've got no control. Right. Even if you don't win the veto, yeah, because you HOH you don't win the veto, you've got no control because the person who wins it could muck up your plans. Yeah. Unless you had a strong replacement nominee in the background, I would because if I was HOH, I would absolutely execute a backdoor. Yeah, so I would. Yeah. If you were HOH, George, you would go after the physical men because you knew you could never beat them in a physical comp. That's what you do. Yeah, you would go after the physical guys. Yeah. But once after being ceremony, as HOH, you've got no power because you have to rely on campaigning. But if you win the beta, you have got some control because you can then decide, well, you know what? I'm going to throw a wrench to the HOH plan. Yeah. That's how the existing were last year. Once they made their protection list, that was it. They had no control over what happened. But then it was pretty much the waiting now to find out who had been taken from them or not. Yeah. So I kind of like how the existing teams, they've got more say, they've got more control. They've got that tiny bit of power that they can use before the expansion teams just come in. I do not like which is the contract that forces people. It's the I'll go up here. It's exactly your position. I know where you're going. It's exactly the same as you. Exactly the same as you. So it was. Hold on. We're just gonna get up on the. Yeah, we're just gonna go from. So it's in phase 2. It's the EFO, so the expansion franchise offer. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like how you are forcing a player to sign a contract that might not be good for them, but you've got no choice because with opportunities contract, you have to take it. But with that though, I do like how there is the possibility that if more than one team wants to go for a certain player, they can then choose. So even though they're forced into a contract, they technically do get like a last say. You know, it's kind of like deadlock. Well, X Factor, yeah. Judges haven't decided, so it then goes back into the hands of the people. I hated deadlock. Right, because a lot of your favourites got kicked out on deadlock. Yeah. Because the judges kept the crap singer. You know? Lucy! Oh, that was the worst one. Lucy! And it was Simon! We were so close to getting rid of Jedward. We were so close. Simon had the boat. All he had to do was kick Jedward out and we were in happy days. And he took it to deadlock. Simon! But yeah, Lucy went. Aidan went. He went. And that was against Katie! Who had so many opportunities. Yeah. That was a bad one. I think, if I remember rightly, the audience booed. Because at that point, they knew, she's crap, get her off! Didn't Hezza go on deadlock? Oh, don't get me started. No. Oh, you're doing it now. No, don't go there. Wasn't she on deadlock? No, don't go there. How did that happen? I do not know. Talisa absolutely was exactly how I was feeling on that night. Okay. This is basically what Talisa was saying. She was basically making a vote. People are voting for the wrong people. They were. How was it that the two... Sorry, right. How was it? Because she went up against the winner. She went up against James Arthur in the sing-off. How was it that the best two singers in the competition ended up in the sing-off? That never should have happened. No. Could you imagine what Henderson's version of Impossible would have been? Because obviously that was the song the winner was going to release. And James Arthur's version isn't actually that bad. I actually do. It's quite nice. But you do wonder what would Henderson's version have been had she been allowed to get to the final. I've never found deadlock in X Factor because, as Percy mentioned, the wrong singer left every time on deadlock. In fact, in her season, I think we milked the deadlock. Oh god, when Louis took forever to get, it's like, oh. And Louis like, look, it's either that one or it's that one. We're like, and this was live telly. This was live telly, folks. This was live telly. But I don't like the EFR. I don't like how you're basically forcing a player to sign a contract with a team they may not want to be on. They may want to stay on their original team, but they can't because they've been offered the EFR. Yeah. What's with the target list? It all feels very Exactly. It all very feels constitutional, if you ask me. Especially, of course, we are in election fever this week. Yep. And that's what I did. That's how I explained it. Did you? Yeah. I used that exact example to explain how the target lists work. Because obviously, yeah, the target lists are basically like how in elections where parties, so we'll use our party for example, Liberal Democrats, get a list of all the constituencies that are up for election, and they rank them in order of which ones to target the most. So imagine right now in Lib Dem HQ this week, because we've got election on Thursday, guys. He's postal. Yeah, I'm a postal buzz. I've already voted. I've just got a nasty feeling we're going to be a hung council again. But we got close last. I know. Last time we were only 3 away from majority, but so basically, right now, probably in Lib Dem HQ, Ed Dave's got a list of all the constituencies that are up for election in England, Wales, and Scotland, because that's where elections are happening this week. And he's looking at which ones we target, right? Those ones we focus on to go and campaign them. That's how I just got the target list. I just don't think I'm really in favour of that. Oh God, I'm dreading that. I know you are. Because we have to come up with that. We will have an episode for every step of the way. So we will also have. So we will in phase 2. We will have to do an episode. Oh no. We will have to do an episode going through each expansion team's target list. Yeah, I know you won't go like that. Don't go back to being Boost, otherwise I'm going to have to basically just jump the ship. I've already been knocked off twice. Yeah, and 3 strikes and you're out. That's how it works. All the season 2 weeks time. I knew you won't go like that. So, with the final phase, is it basically free agency? It's basically an early access to free agency. So, but it's not like a full-blown free agency. Because in phase 5, any player that's not got a contract can only sign with their current team. And it's not until after the entry draft that you can then open it up to everyone else. Oh, that's fine. I quite like that, actually. Yeah, I do prefer that, because there's going to be a lot of good talent that is going to be signed by the end of this process. And I think we saw this last year how badly teams were impacted by the expansion process. Firstly, we got to create a new aura. Yep. But where are they now, huh? Where are they now? That was so funny, wasn't it? When we were talking about aura. I can't remember if it was during our game in Vancouver or maybe during the first game of the playoffs this last week. Broadcast today, a lot of people were thinking, I might not make it this year, and then me and Lady said, clear you! Okay, I'll admit it. Okay. After last year's free agency, I did basically fear that Ottawa wasn't going to be able to build on the great season they had last year. I said that. You did. I said that. And the first few weeks, I was sort of proven right. They struggled. They had a bad start. They struggled. They really did struggle to find their game. But okay, they turned it around. They got through. They found a way to get in the playoffs, and they're now guaranteed both their games this week at Canadian Plaza, which is really good. Yeah, I'm so glad that series is split. I kind of said we were going into game 2 on Saturday. I was kind of really hoping because I've got no preference in that series. No, if we get to the finals, we'll take on whoever we have to take on. Yeah, but I kind of at the very least wanted Ottawa and Boston to get tied so that both games at CTC, were guaranteed, and Ottawa can maximise the opportunities there. Oh yeah. No, but I admitted, Ottawa I did say was going to struggle, and I got proven wrong. That's fine. I'd rather be proven wrong about Ottawa than being proven wrong about Tia, because we all collectively agree Tia was not going to do much this year. Nah, we all agree. Yeah, we all agree on that. I'd rather be wrong about Ottawa than I'd be wrong about Tia. Yep, and I think the Tia fans only gonna get worse. They want Troy Ryan's head on a stick, which I'm not sure is the right attitude. No, I don't think he's the problem. No, I don't think he's the problem. No, I don't think. No, you can't blame it on him. No, especially how Megan Clark was really good in that. This year she didn't really have the support needed. So I think that's good that teams will have an opportunity to get free agents back if they want to. Right, that's good. But the one thing I want to say to you too, Bob, I said it in the last episode, so I'm saying it enough. I don't want if when we get to the end of phase 5 and a certain FA hasn't signed with their current team, I don't want people, especially you two, to start going, oh my god, that player's not coming back. That player's getting shot somewhere. I don't want you to start thinking that. What it could potentially mean is they want to at least look around first before committing. So it's basically like buying a house. Right. You look at other options first. So it's basically like Place in the Sun. So Ben Hillman will ask the people by, have you got a contender? They'll say yes, but they'll look at the other ones as well, and then we'll come back to that contender if that's the one we'll go with. Yeah. So when we get to base 5, if a particular FA hasn't signed back with the Frost, I don't want you to immediately go, oh my god, we're not getting that player back next year. Don't think that straight away. It could be what they're doing is they're waiting until the free agency opens properly, when everyone can be in play, and then they'll make a decision. Okay? Why are you looking at me when you say that? Because you're the one who's going to have the most aggro during free agency. I can see it now. You had it last year. Can you blame me? Yeah. 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 Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Wow. You had a right B up on it, like got finished last year. Which is funny because he was the one who was not looking forward to the expansion process. He handled that like a pro. When we got to free agency, that's when he lost his rag. Look at where he lost. Okay, cover. 2030. Liz Shepherds, or who are on the teams right now who are trying to take away our Water Cup. Yeah. And of course, Liz Shepherds, of course, got the golden goal in the first 2 seasons. So, yeah. So, while we didn't have that many scalps in the expansion process, we were going in free agency. Yeah, when we get the World Cup finalists, it would be very interesting to see when we get to free agency, will teams, particularly expanded teams, try to gouge those two? Because I knew what Vancouver and Seattle were doing. I knew what the Toronto guys were doing. They looked at all of Minnesota, thought those teams went to the World Cup final. They're going to have the best players to build a good roster for us. Let's go and gouge them out. I knew what they were doing. I knew what they were doing. Because if I was in their positions, it's what I would have done. Yeah. It's what I absolutely would have done. But I knew. So, it'll be interesting to see when we get to the World Cup finals who those 2 finalists are and think, are their rosters going to get targeted by the expansion teams heavily again, especially when we get to free agency? Yeah. Yeah, that's my fear. For me, I don't think it's clear how many players could be lost in total. I think it's 4. Well, it's like last year. No, what I mean is in each stage. So, yeah, because it's possible that teams are going to be potentially odd numbers in terms of yeah. So, I see what you mean. Yeah, like say by the end of one phase, the team could be down to lose 2 players, while another team might have only lost 1. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that'll become more clear when we get through each phase. Okay, but I think it is definitely 4 players you can lose. How do you feel about where the expansion will be at the end of it all? Because I did on the end of the episode, I did throw a little thing about maybe could you potentially give the expansion teams extra draft picks in the entry draft? Because how many will be in the process? Yeah, go on. By the end of the process, the expansion teams will have 16 teams. What? But you need 23. And you need 23 for a roster. And then you need to have reserves as well, a reserve pool. Yeah. Oh, I'd give them more picks. You would? I'd give them more picks. How many? Because I said 2. Because that was then by the end of the entry draft will take you to where Seattle and Vancouver were at the end of the entry draft last year. I would say 2. I'd go 3. You go 3. You would give them 3 extra picks. Well, just because how tough free agency is going to be this time around compared to last year, I would say give them 3, and then we don't need to get another 4 players signed, which you can do. Yeah. So I'd give them 3. I'm all up for extra picks. It's just I'm not still confident I would let them pick before the playoff teams. Yeah, because I think the 3 of us have agreed that it should be goal plan order first. That is Vancouver pick 1, Seattle pick 2, York pick 3, TO pick 4. The question is, after that, would you then let the expansion teams have picks 5, 6, 7, 8? go there. I knew it was gonna go there. Oh my god, that song was murdered in the musical. George, there was not a single song in the musical last year that you thought wasn't murdered. I'm so surprised you hated the Steps musical. So was I. So was I. So was I, lady. I'm so surprised by that. You love Steps. You grew up with Steps. Yes, that's you. They don't even know my age. You grew up with them. You grew up with Claire. You love Claire. I remember you wanted to win Celebrity Big Brother. Was that the year that Chad Hardy and... Oh, God, that was a horrible year. You love Steps. I was so... I know. But let's go. Yeah, we saw the Steps musical last year. On opening night of its tour. The opening night of its tour was in Manchester. And I came away absolutely hating it. Because I just felt they just murdered all the songs. It just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. It just felt like, you know. I had to come on the episode you did on Showtime. I had to come on that episode because I just felt he's gonna lose the plot. Yeah, I had to come on. Yeah. Well, I originally don't think you were supposed to come on, but then you just sort of casually sort of slid onto the set. And we just had to go from there. It was like, yeah. Yeah. So, we agreed the goal plan should be the first 4 picks. The question is, after that, what do you do? Because I think you could maybe, now I've seen this plan, now you've seen this plan, I think you could make an argument for letting the expanded teams then take picks by 6, 7, 8. Then the player teams draft last, how it normally works in entry drafts. Yeah. But, I don't know. Have you got a problem with how many picks would you do? The extra picks? I think there's an argument. I actually do think there is an argument you can make. It's just, I would have to say 2 or 3. I'm undecided. What's fun? You're saying, I'm saying 2. He's saying 3. If you want to play Switzerland, play Switzerland. I don't mind. Don't stop singing Alice! You know that's banned this year! And forevermore. Are you really sure I can't have... No, you can't! No, you can't! And you would need my card. Oh, is it pay? You gotta pay. You gotta pay. You still have to pay. You still have to pay for a boat, but you have to do it online rather than by phone. So no. So you definitely can't have access to my BBC ID account because you would now need to have access to my debit card, which ain't happening. Do not give your card details to anyone, not even family, kids. Don't do it. So there you go. That's you stuffed. Linda Petter! She's gonna be allowed to play her violin! Well, you still can't be allowed. Boycott. Boycott stands. You can try and play it to me all you like, but the boycott still stands. They're not even in our semi-final, You can't vote for them if you tried in semis. They're in semi-1. UK is semi-2. Yeah, so even if George wasn't boycott, you couldn't vote for them in the semi that you tried. Right, so there you go. Yeah, but I'm on the fence with... It all depends on how the process works. That would be then we'll decide. Yeah. But I wouldn't have a problem if they decide to do that. I would be happy if the league wanted to give expansion dog! Oh, we're all getting tongue tied now. I would be happy if the league was consider giving expansion teams extra picks just to help them out with the free agency. Yeah, but it all depends. Yeah. Because if we're doing a 6-round format again, then yeah, you would. Yeah, you could have made it on. Yeah. So I'm going 2. He's going 3. Yeah, right. What are you making this whole thing? To finish off, yeah. I do think that this works a lot better than a standard expansion draft. I'm fine with it. I have no problem with this process. I mean, when the news first dropped, I was like, blow. Initially, my head was hurting. It was hard to process. But then, just before the Wild's disastrous game last night, I didn't ask, how are you feeling? Sick, Pluto. Sick. Because we actually did play quite well until the third. We actually played quite well for 2 periods, and then the third it all fell off. And of course, the fan base is just literally like blaming it all on Wallstad, but I don't think you can put the blame on him. Did they have a power pick off? Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. Special teams have not been kind to Minnesota so far in these playoffs, whether it be Wild or Frost. Just saying. Yeah. So that's what we need to bear in mind tomorrow. That's the key. That's the key to game 2 tomorrow. Stay out the box. Because if the Big 12 had not got that power play goal, then it would have been a 4-3 regulation win for us, and we would not have to avoid about OT. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, agreed. Are we midnight tomorrow our time? It's 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Because game 2 of Wild Avalanche is, I think, an hour after us. Yeah. Yeah, so... So I actually do think this is... I do like the style a bit. I just want to see with the process how it unfolds. Do I still feel the same way? Right now I'm kind of happy with how this looks. I do like the way the process is laid out. When it kicks in, when it begins, then we'll need to see if I'm still happy with it or not. Yeah. So for now I'm okay with it, but we'll see what happens going forward. I do like the process. It definitely has given the players more control, more freedom. They definitely have been put at the forefront here, so that's good. The question is, and we might need to take a poll. We might need to take a poll. The question is, are fans going to be happy? Because not many fans last year were happy with the outcome of last year's draft. Let's just face it like that. Nobody liked last year's expansion process. Nobody liked it. So we'll see how this one goes. But I actually, for now, I'm quite happy with it. But we'll see. Any more final thoughts? That's you. That's a no, lady. I will say something. It sounds interesting. It really does sound like the players have been thought about this time out. Is good. Let's see what happens. Are we going to do a thoughts about the process when it happens? Yes, we will do. Well, after the process has been completed, we will do an episode where we'll talk about how we felt it went down. Provided there's been no furore this time round. Yeah. No, I think it sounds promising. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. As a reminder, when the expansion process does begin, we will be with you every step of the way. So those are our thoughts on it. Okay. What do you guys think? Let us know as always. And until next time, thanks for joining us. Take care. Don't forget to